All right, welcome back to Seeds. I'm Christine.
I am Tracy.
And I guess today we're going to sort of have like a bit of a spin-off of the last conversation that we had. For those of you who tuned in last week, we had a very thorough, somewhat thorough conversation around letting go and the art, specifically the art of letting go. And at the time, as I had mentioned, I was sort of going through my own trying to figure out this art and trying to apply this art into areas of my own life at that particular time. And it's amazing what a week can do.
How much can change.
When you do sort of apply some of these things and just sort of let things unfold. One of the things that came out of our discussion was a saying, all in sweet time, the rest will unfold. And I think that the direction Tracy and I would like to sort of explore, because all of these discussions are really in the moment sort of discoveries, right? Are they not?
Yeah.
Explore just that concept of accepting and surrendering to when you let go, what then unfolds.
Yes.
And how it unfolds, and the beauty of that unfolding if you choose to sort of surrender and be in the moment of actually watching that beauty unfold, right? So a few themes came up, Trace, about acceptance, that I'd really like us to kind of maybe focus on a little bit more, talk about a little bit more, and just that whole concept of all in sweet time, the rest will unfold. And what does that mean? What does that look like? How is that experienced?
Yeah. When we're talking about the saying, I think that the way that it's experienced is to literally sit back and let it unfold. Let it, like, have faith and trust in whatever is destined for you, but
I know what you mean.
I know what I mean. I don't want to say destiny and whatever. Oh yeah, you know. But
what's in that? How will your life, almost being a passenger, in your life of this ride of life, and seeing where life will naturally take you, if you sort of give up those reins and not try to control outcomes, right? And why do we try to control outcomes? What are some of the reasons that we resist the natural flow of things and that whole getting in the way?
Well, a lot of it is impatience. We don't want to sit and wait for it to happen. We want to make it happen. And we're kind of taught in this world that you're supposed to get up and make things happen. You know what I mean? We're taught you have to make things happen. If you want something to be realized, go out there and make it happen. Well, yeah, that's true to a point, but sometimes you could also be damaging that process.
Why are we taught that? Like, what is... We are taught that. Like, you have to do something.
It's a dog-eat-dog world. Survival of the fittest.
And you know what? That you're right. And it all comes from this element of lacking. That there's not enough. It's almost as if, like, we're taught in competition. We're taught that life is this pie, and we got to make sure that we get our piece of it.
By any means necessary for some people.
Yeah, or else we're going to do without. So we kind of have to inject ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's about maybe go against the grain and push against things in order to be able to receive, or in order to be able to attain and acquire our piece of that pie. That whole element of lack, I think, is a huge misconception. It's a huge lie that we have been taught in our society, and I believe it has done so much damage. I mean, this not just on a personal level. You can take this into politics. You can take this into every aspect of life. This idea of I have to get mine, and in getting mine, and what does that do to our conscience? Even that, in order for me to have mine, I am prepared and willing for them to not have. The haves and the have-nots. So it's isn't there even a guilt conscience that could create on some level with us that...
I think with some that actually from what I've seen, there are people that won't even look at it in a guilty way. That to them, this is the way it is. And they don't even explore that there may be something wrong with what they're doing.
I think all of us have done that, not realizing that we've been socialized into that as being normal. What I'm wondering is on a global level, what does that do to the mass consciousness of us as a whole, that we go into our lives in the space of, I have to get mine, and when I get it, I feel like it's because survival of the fittest. I'm a go-getter.
I won.
Yeah, I've won. But in order for me to win, somebody else has to lose, and I'm okay with that. I'm so okay with it that it doesn't even register in my conscience that is actually happening.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's the norm for you. It becomes a norm for some people.
For all of us.
Until we wake up. Exactly, that's what I mean. We all may have been in that place, but I can honestly say that I can only speak for me, but I've never been a competitive person that way.
Neither have I in a conscious way, but I'm trying to examine within myself if when we're young, can we be unscathed in this systemic socialization of that? So at some point, the more conscious we are, the more aware we're not doing it. But as we're young and we're growing, how could we not have, unless we were enlightened from the time we were born?
Not necessarily. It might be just who you are. I don't think it comes with that. I think that it doesn't come with a fact of enlightenment. Yes, you recognize it more if you are going in that path. But I'm thinking, and like I said, I can only speak for myself, but I can't recall a time when I thought that, I have to outdo somebody so that I can, you know what I mean?
Me either.
So that's why I'm saying, well, then that's a natural thing that just comes with you as a person, you know what I mean? But we're talking globally, obviously there's something wrong because we have a 1% and a 99%. The 1% is ruling the world, the 1% is, they're the ones that are taking everything and giving out only so much, whereas the 99% are the ones that are struggling to make life work. And that's why we have third world countries, and it's the survival, like what we said, the survival of the fittest, where they're only concerned about me getting. I don't care what you have. If I have to take from you to have more, I'll do it. And unfortunately, I think that you see it in the entertainment industry. You see it in all industries. You see it in companies. You see it everywhere.
It's weaved.
Yeah, into
our society.
Fabric of society, as into being the norm.
It is, and I think what I'm discovering is, I mean, to whatever extent I have been affected in my own life, even though like you, I don't recall consciously thinking in situations. Having said that, I recall getting jobs, going through interview processes, knowing that they've interviewed 100 people, and knowing that I got the job, and me feeling this sense of I was better qualified, I'm good for me, and not even giving it a thought of what those others who didn't get that job would be feeling like. I didn't really think about who they were.
But to me, that's not on you. You went in there, you presented the best case you could for yourself.
It's not on me to give up the job for it.
But no, I mean, it's not even on you. That is on the person who's hiring. You know what I mean? That's on the person who's hiring, that they thought you were better. You went in and presented yourself as yourself.
I did, and I'm not arguing that I shouldn't get the job or that anybody else shouldn't. I think I'm more speaking to this spirit of competitiveness that becomes part of who we are, that we don't even recognize when we've developed an insensitivity to. We're so much a part of this competitive world that we're disconnected from those who have lost, let's say.
I know, but see that in that situation.
I mean, it can't be avoided, I guess, in our society.
No, but in that situation, I don't look at it that way, because when you go in for a job interview, you're just presenting the best case. You don't know these people to even know if you're competing in a sense of being better than them. You know what I mean? Or trying to make yourself better. You're going into an interview trying to put your best face forward, as they are too. So that the competition part comes down to what the employer wants. You know what I mean?
See, I'm not speaking to I'm not speaking to like that. There's something wrong with me in getting that.
Oh job. No, I'm not saying that.
I'm more speaking to just.
I just don't know if it's the right analogy.
It might not be the closest analogy. It might not. It might be a very.
You know me, I'm very analytical.
I know. I actually think it is the right analogy. I just don't. I think it is a fitting analogy from where I'm coming from. I just don't know if you really have, if I've explained or communicated enough to. For you to understand where I'm coming from in that, because I see it very clearly with that analogy, but it's probably not the most easiest, like, it's probably not the best analogy for me to use in this, but it's just, again, just speaking to the
climate,
the idea of this pie.
Right.
And I have to get mine. And you have to get yours. And even when we get it, the understanding of it that I've secured my piece of this limited pie, right? And moving forward in our life through that. I mean, this is it's a different discussion, but but let's bring that back around to the whole thing of acceptance, letting go, all in sweet time, the rest will unfold, and just allowing life to you to be a passenger in this ride of life.
And that's what we were mentioning before about the living in the eternal moment of now, and recognizing how it is right now. Because to me that's what that as sweet what was it again? As all in sweet time, the rest will unfold. You're not worrying, like we said before, about the past or the future. You're just living in the moment. And like I said before, I think it's so much easier if you can train yourself to live in the moment, because then competition, all that stuff doesn't even come into your mind anymore, because you're appreciating where you are right now.
So then it's how do we get there? Because so many of us don't even know that a state of that even is available to us, because we're caught up in, like you said, the past, or investing in the future, or having expectations and desires and outcomes being fashioned to our own will and our own desires. Right?
I honestly can say that like you said, that, well, it kind of goes to speaking to what we were talking about the last time on the acceptance, and the patience. And I think that's what's and I can speak to that because I'm probably one of the most impatient people on the face of this earth. But yeah, that's a virtue. When they say patience is a virtue, they're not even joking, because it's so hard, and like you said, in this very competitive world, to be patient.
And then the question comes, and how are you being patient? Are you being patient with, I know this is going to be the outcome, so I'm going to sit and patiently wait for it? Are you really living in the present then?
I don't think so.
No, right? Because
you're
sitting waiting for an outcome still to show up. Yeah. I mean, patience, I think, is a virtue for sure.
Yes. But you can continue doing this, like, put it this way, whatever you're focused on is not the only thing in your life, the only object in your life. There's other avenues that you can take and continue to live while you're waiting patiently.
Isn't waiting a waste of time? What are you waiting for?
Well, you're not really waiting, though, because you're still living life. Go live your life, and then maybe you're...
But part of your mind is then waiting for something, too. Aren't you kind of using part of your mind to wait for something? I'm talking about if you're waiting for something specific. Like, are you in the moment of now if any part of your mind is consciously
maybe waiting. Yeah, maybe waiting is not the correct word. Not worrying about it, period, is actually the word, and just continue living your life, and
allowing life to live you.
Yeah. To a degree, but you just, because, what I say is you don't sit there and wait for whatever that end goal is. You still continue living your life. Go out there and live. Like if you're talking about a relationship that just ended and you're trying to get used to, or hoping that they might come back or things might work out, well, still go out there and live your life. Go out and meet new people.
Or maybe don't hope it'll come back and let go.
Yeah, and even that, let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even the hope of it, I mean, having it as a one of many possibilities, if you open yourself up to anything's possible, then what you're doing, I mean, that if there's one thing that I don't know much. I feel like that song, I don't know much, but I know I love you. Sorry, couldn't help myself there. But
Aaron Neville, the linebacker with the baby voice.
Yeah. But I don't know much. But if there is one thing that I absolutely and truly believe, and that is through experience, is that anything is possible. So maybe, again, if you've broken up in a relationship with someone, instead of hoping that that relationship will show up, it's truly aligning yourself with that truth of anything is possible. So now you're not excluding that, but you're including that into the realm of possibility, but you're not excluding everything else.
Right.
Any other door that could be there opening up for you. Because again, if you're sitting there waiting for that, you're really limiting your field of vision for anything else that could be showing up or could be waiting to show up for you. That's more of a match. For what
exactly.
It is you want.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You keep those lessons learned in your back pocket, and you take the good from that relationship, and you can project that, I guess, into having that come back to you from somebody else or that person if they're the right one. But you always walk with the lessons learned. You know. And I think if you do that, you'll still continue to live life, and I think possibly even attract that right partner.
Yeah.
If you know.
I think what we tend to do is we put up resistance to what it's that same eternal moment of now concept, but we put up resistance to what's showing up instead of just surrendering to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So so when we put that resistance because it's not showing up in the way that we want, it's that resistance that prevents us from being able to let go and be in that eternal moment. And I think that's resistance word is key to what keeps us from being able
not accepting
putting up that resistance
and not accepting that maybe it's time for this to be finished so I can open myself up for more.
Well, not accepting that it is finished.
It is finished, or even it is finished.
It is finished, and that's it. If we think maybe it's time, we're still in the. It's not. We're not accepting it. So it is finished. It is.
But you know what? In this world, not everything is black and white, though either.
But for this moment in time, it's finished.
Yeah.
And I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're saying.
No.
Tell me what you're saying. Okay, because I know you were coming from somewhere, and I need to hear.
Because you just don't. The reason why I say that is you have to be. When you say anything is possible, you're absolutely right. Anything is possible.
So that's why you're saying.
So you closing off, even saying it is finished. Well, you don't know that.
But what? Okay, so then what it could mean is by anything's possible. I don't think one is exclusive of the other, or one negates the other.
No.
So anything's possible, meaning a new beginning for that could happen again.
Possibly.
But right now, as it relates to, we're talking about relationships. Yes. We're talking about relationships.
Yes, that's so hard for me.
That's just okay. Yeah, so we're talking about relationships.
Okay. Good, thank you.
We're talking about mine. Okay.
Now there's some truth and honesty there. You see?
We're talking about mine. We're talking about a relationship. Yeah, we're talking about a relationship that is very, very, very valuable to me, and it's not a relationship that has shown up ideally in the way that I want. So I know it's not, the time is not right.
Yes.
That I know.
Yes.
But it's not to say that because you believe that anything is possible, that the time might not become right. But what I don't want to be in danger of.
Okay, yes.
Right?
That's what you have to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
What I do not want to be in danger of is that whole waiting element, as you said, and how can I formulate this? Because I know that anything is possible, that reality and that truth tells me that anything is possible, including that relationship coming back. A new beginning for that relationship happening. I don't want to be in danger of, because I know that that is also in the realm of possibility, I don't want to be in danger of then refocusing in a place of waiting for that to show up.
That's right. And that's why you stop at that anything is possible, and that is possible too.
You stop at anything is possible. So that is, it's that.
Yeah.
So, okay, I got to just run.
Don't worry about the in danger of, stop at anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Yeah. And that's what we need to do is truly just, anything is possible, everything is possible, but you're not invested.
Yes.
Maybe that's the word too. You're not in. You're no longer allowing yourself to be invested in any one outcome. Yes. Because even the hope of that outcome keeps you out of that flow, the natural flow of the unfolding of your life.
Yes. That to me, and then you said, as you said before, that is the crux where you stop.
That is the crux. That word, I don't like it. It's such a funny word to me. But that is the crux right there. Yes. It's knowing when to
accept that anything is possible, but like you said, don't invest in the outcome that you want.
Because as soon as you do, you're shutting off so many possibilities. So many other possibilities.
Yes. It's like what you were telling me with that Abraham Hicks. What she was saying. You can explain the story of the stream or the flow.
Okay, so Abraham Hicks, this woman, Esther Hicks, I guess she basically gets insight. And, you know, whether you believe in this ability, but she basically feels that she is, not feels, but I guess, like, I don't even want to say, she receives messages or universal truths or something like that, and then she's on YouTube and things like that, and people follow her. And I actually find it quite interesting because regardless of whether or not I believe that we can, you know, tap into source energy and receive information or not, which I do, actually, I have to say that I do. It's my connection with God, my connection with whatever that guides me. But the information to me is undeniable.
Yes. Exactly.
What she says. It resonates with me in a lot of ways. But she speaks hugely about resistance and about resisting that, putting any form of resistance in terms of what is showing up and not allowing yourself to experience what is showing up. Kind of like what we described the last time about being almost an observer. It's kind of twofold. You're being an observer and an experience kind of all at the same time. Right, so basically not putting up the resistance and to therefore allow myself, to be an to be an observer of it and an experiencer of it all at the same time. But not attaching any expectation or any investment whatsoever into the outcome of the situation.
Yep. And that is truly allowing it to unfold as it should.
Do you know, I think that to the degree that we have not done this in our lives, and I believe that we've not done it more often than we've done it, we create a lot of pain and suffering.
I'm so in agreement with that. It's true. We all do it. Yeah. We all do, and a lot of it is unnecessary suffering.
It's
unnecessary. Our mind, and unfortunately, I don't know if people believe in astrology, but I'm a Gemini, and you're an Aquarius, so we're a part of the air group, which is thought. So I don't know if you're like me. I overanalyze. I think till I get a headache
out of my head.
And they always tell you, oh no, don't let your mind can create so much things. But I live in the we're processors. We process everything. You know what I mean? Every nuance, every movement, every sound, every word. We're processors. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Which is great sometimes, but sometimes it's inhibiting. It inhibits you.
It is, because as soon as me, I'm naturally wired that if something shows up, I immediately, like almost in an instant, I can already map out all of the possible outcomes.
That's what we
do. And then not only that,
create some.
Here's this, check this out. Not even just mapping out, let's suppose there's 10, I've got all 10 mapped out. What are all the possible outcomes? And then I go through, and then with each one of those 10 outcomes, if I did this, what would the natural outcomes of those? So I've got this.
You got like this it's like not even microscopic, it's like universal thing now of all these different ladders and snakes and ladders all connecting one by one by one by one.
And I wish somebody could just tell me to shut up.
Tell your mind to shut up. It's so impossible.
Shut up.
I'm sure you've been
still. Be in the moment. But I got to say, I've gotten a lot better with that too. Because I know that is my worst enemy. I know that I become a prisoner of my own devices when I do not just shut up. And the less talking you're doing
to
yourself, the more space you're allowing for the answers to come.
Absolutely. And it's true, it's so hard to quiet the mind, like you said, but in order for a lot of these things to manifest, you need to stay quiet. Be silent in your mind. Be silent. And I'm not going to lie, so I've taken up meditation because I realize I need it, and that's kind of helped me get more grounding. Because just like you, I can create a whole new universe with my thoughts. So
multi-universe.
Multi-universes, exactly, all lined up, and then how is that one connected? But you know what I mean, right? But I find that meditation, I don't know if there's other people out there that are like that, meditation, and I know that a lot of people tell you, so you're supposed to empty your mind. I don't do that. I focus on something, one thing, whether it's a color, a song, a sound, a word, but I focus, and to me that helps reel me in.
And I want to say something about meditation, because I know there's going to be a lot of people watching who are afraid of the idea of meditation. And of course, and I was one of them too. There's various different ways of meditating.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the day, the use of the word meditation can alienate people because they're thinking that they're relying on something spiritual or whatever it is,
or somebody, some entity or whatever. No.
Yeah, and I would say even to those people, chances are you've meditated even though you're not calling it meditation. Where you just truly just be still, and you're just being still. Some people use tools. I don't. They'll use, I don't know, like bowls or something, or chimes, or
even just your breathing.
They'll use whatever. And really, that's really all my form of meditation. I think yours is too, I don't know. But it's really just being quiet. Going into a quiet space. Maybe it's putting on your spa music for some people. Maybe it's just simply being quiet and just going into a space where you are quiet, where you're quieting your mind. You're not resisting the thoughts that are coming to you. You're actually allowing them to come in, and you're observing every thought so that they can then be pushed out. And that's what I think some people have a hard time with. I have. You think, oh well, my mind's going to be quiet, so but you see that thought. Well, that's not supposed to be this. Then you start fighting. No, I can't be thinking about that. But no, allow the thought to come through. Allow it to come through, and that's the whole thing about surrendering to it. Allow it to come through. Allow them all to come through, and then eventually they'll make their appearance. That's all they want. Just appearance. Right? Make their appearance, they'll go, and then you're left with, hopefully, with some quiet. And sometimes when you first do that, you only maybe get 5 seconds of it. But the more you do it, you might find you get 7 seconds the next time of just that quiet space. And it's in that space. It's in that space that clarity tends to come for me.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
And even that art is an art of letting go, surrendering, and accepting.
It's a good practice. It helps teach you to, like you said, let go and push things away that aren't necessary anymore. And I think that is the key. And I think that if more people did take quiet time, whatever it is, maybe it's for you going hiking on a mountain or going into the park, gardening, listening to birds, whatever it is, I think everyone should make time in their day, even if it's for 5 minutes.
To still their mind.
To just still your mind.
Yeah.
It does give, it actually regenerates you.
Yeah.
To go and deal with the world again.
Yeah.
And I think if everybody did that, I think we'd be living in a much more peaceful world.
I do too.
I really do.
I do as well.
But wow, once again, we've gone down some avenues.
Yeah. We've gone down some avenues. Like I said, this week is a different week than it was last week. I've been able to apply some of the things, and I've actually seen some really amazing things come out of it. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm looking for, it's just,
As you enjoy this chapter right now, but you're looking forward to the next too.
Yeah.
And believe me, I think that when you start to look at the world with that kind of an outlook, it's not such a bad place. It's actually quite beautiful.
The world is a beautiful, beautiful place. And I know for some who are suffering and who are going through whatever, they could be like, how can you look at all the horrible things that are going on in the world? Like, how can you see the world as a beautiful place? But the contrast is necessary.
Yes.
The contrast is necessary. The up, the down, the right, the left, the good. You couldn't have good without bad. You couldn't experience good without bad. You couldn't experience,
like you can't experience light without darkness. You wouldn't know what light is without
exactly.
darkness.
Here without there, like here and there. So the contrast of relativity. It is. It's the relativity that we're living in a relative world, and it's up to us to first be able to recognize that. That I believe it's more of a tool that we use or that we have available to us, but and then being able to know that we're empowered to choose what our experience is going to be in that contrast.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And here's to hoping that you'll be able to navigate your road that way.
I do believe that we're co-creators of our experiences,
absolutely, right? We are. We are absolutely. I not even believe we are.
Problem is, here's the thing though. You know why I said co-creators?
Yeah.
Problem is, we think, okay, people will say we're creators, but that's what we're doing all the time, I believe. The problem is that we have to allow for the co-creation, meaning allow for the answers to come with us, the partnership that we have. But we get in the way all the time. Because
we feel that we can't wait. We can't wait. We have to do it now, and I don't want it my way. The way it has to be done my way and right now. And that's where I think the problem starts.
And it has to work out this way. It has to look this way, show up this way, be this way, to the point that we start trying to control other people and trying to manipulate what the circumstances and all of these things. But again, I think it speaks again to what we were saying of going in that quiet space. In that quiet space, you're doing nothing.
Yeah.
You're doing nothing except being quiet and getting, hopefully, insight and clarity.
Yeah. And to me, it's
you're experiencing peace, at least for a minute. If you're not getting any answers to anything, at least you're experiencing some peace.
Full peace, yes.
In the midst of the
everybody
chaos.
Needs that. Everybody needs that.
Yeah.
I think it's just as important as breathing.
Vital. I think it's vital to our quality of life.
Yeah, and like you said, the world is a beautiful place even though there's all kinds of things I don't even want to think about going on in it, but there is the other side, like you said. And I find that when you try to focus on that side, it becomes even more beautiful.
Well, then, maybe our next thing we can talk about is there's been so much stuff around this whole law of attraction.
Yes.
Right? What we focus on, we attract attract into our experience. So, like if I go into a place and I was afraid of dogs up until very recently.
That's right. Yes.
And I expected that a dog, if I'm in the vicinity of a dog, they'll bite. So if I go into that thing with this fear and this expectation, I'm probably more at risk of getting bit by a dog than somebody who goes in expecting to be loved and by a dog. And then we create that experience because we're...
Well, I think because we're actually putting out that frequency and that energy.
That's right.
I'm a firm believer in energy and frequency and vibration. So they're living creatures too, so they can pick up on it.
Law of attraction.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Now?
No,
yeah, that's too big. I can't do that now. They're going to see a look of fright on my face. What?
Yeah, that'll be an upcoming one.
Yes.
Law of attraction, and how we've actually seen that manifest.
So many times that it's
all the time.
Well, yeah, all the time, but the ones I can, yeah. That's why I said there's someone I know a lot of people are starting to get to know him through the internet, but Nikola Tesla, he said to understand the universe, study frequencies, vibrations, and energy, and you will know.
Yeah.
And I'm so becoming even more and more every day a firm believer of that, because I think that's what we all are. And like you're talking about the dog, they can sense if you're nervous or angry, and then that's when they will act towards that.
And they're not doing it to be aggressive.
No.
They're feeling fear.
They're feeling
feeling they have to protect themselves. So
but if they're feeling warmth and love from you, then they're going to give you warmth and love. It's there's this quick story I can tell you. My daughter, because my dog, you met him a couple weeks ago, but Murphy, yeah, he's an awesome dog, but he's kind of unruly. And I didn't want to bring him to the store, because she wanted us to, the three of us were going for a walk, and I was like, I'm not going to bring him because he's too unruly, he's going to carry on. My, at the time, 7-year-old daughter said to me, Mom, if you think he's going to do it, he's going to be bad, then he's going to be bad. But if you think he's going to be good, he'll be good.
She's so insightful.
Yeah, at 7 years old, and she made me stop and think, you know what?
This little girl is teaching you, quite frankly, the law of attraction without knowing it, because she's already understands it.
The innocence of children.
Yeah, she just hasn't put the technical scientific words that we've put on it, but she's living it. She knows it, as I believe most children do.
Yes, I think they do.
And I think we lose that.
We get tainted. This world will taint you if you allow it to.
We do.
But yeah, so the next time we'll do the law of attraction, well,
it'll definitely be an upcoming one, unless something else that's more
pressing
present in unless that comes up. But yeah, for sure, that one I would love for us to.
Girl, you sure you want to go there with me?
I don't know.
Because you know me, man.
I don't know. We'll see.
We can go to different worlds, all kinds of places on that one. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much once again for tuning into Seeds. We hope that you've gotten something out of this. Again, please weigh in. Let us know what you think about what we're talking about.
And thank you to all of you who have been. It's awesome. You've been giving us a lot of
very encouraging feedback, and that's what this is all about. I mean, the show, it's called Seeds. We're, in essence, we've planted a seed with this show, and we are beginning to kind of see
it's starting to everyone's a part of the garden.
Absolutely.
And please feel free to plant your seed in the garden.
Please do.
And
okay, so once again, thank you very much for joining us with this episode of Seeds, and we'd like to know what seeds you're going to plant.